Welcome back to the trailer park, folks. Well, we made a little comeback this week. See, last week we were down 8%, $418 in the whole year to date. This week we made a little comeback, $4,971. We're only down 6% now. 310 real live American dollars we still got to make up. But that's all right. The big dips of the week, actually I didn't have anything that dipped too hard this week, so I ended up going to year-to-date numbers to find my dips. And there are some big ones. Adobe is down 25% year-to-date. CRM, Salesforce, 28%. SoFi is down 28% year-to-date. And y'all, I feel like SoFi at $18, man, that's a gift. I will definitely be buying some more SoFi here soon. But the one that really caught my attention was Amazon. Amazon's like the old volcano that you know it's gonna erupt, you just don't know when. I've been buying it for over a year now. And it's just still sitting there flat, and they keep cranking out, they keep growing, earnings keep doing great things, and it just sits flat. But then here lately, I went in Tuesday morning, and I saw it at 196, and I knew I had to buy some more. So I went full send, full $120 this week, went into Amazon. Wall Street got scared and sold on it a little bit. Why? It's $200 billion in CapEx spending for 2026 was announced. And it's fear of lower margins, lower cash flow. But the CEO is saying that it's for cloud upgrades. And it's for customers they already have. It's built-in growth. As fast as they can make these upgrades, the more customers they're able to take care of and the more growth they have. So I don't think it's willy-nilly spending, and if it does get out of hand, it's always something they can draw back on. It's not set in stone. But, I mean, if you look at the analyst targets, 12-month median target is $290. You're talking 40% from where it is now, about 45% from where I bought it on Tuesday. That'd be pretty nice. High targets, we're talking $360 on the analyst high target. We're 80% up. And, you know, we saw it with Google. Amazon has been just sitting and simmering forever. And, you know, like I said, we don't know when this eruption is going to happen, but it's coming. It's coming. All right. So Rocky and I, my buddy Rocky and I were talking the other day about selling stocks and talking about how they would be taxed after we sold them. And we kind of bounced some stuff back and forth, and what we both realized is that we both had ideas about how this stuff would be taxed, but neither one of us were really sure. So I decided I was gonna dig into it a little bit, and he suggested that I make it part of this week's video, and I thought that wasn't a bad idea, so here we go. Now, I wanna start with a little disclaimer. I think it should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't ever take investing or tax advice from a guy who lives in a trailer, especially one that just showed you that he's already 6% down for the year. So I'm just going to show you what I dug up on the interwebs. On how these things get taxed whenever you sell them. So basically, you fall into one of three tiers based on your income, and the other factor is how long you've owned the stock. So tier number one, single is 0 to 48,000, Filing head of household, 0 to 66,000. Married filing jointly, 0 to 98,000. So if your category falls into one of these three, we'll get to the tax rates here. And then tier 2, 49,000 to 545, 67,000 to 579. Married filing jointly is 99,000 to 613. There is a tier 3, but if you're in tier 3, you done moved out of the trailer park, or you should have. So we're not going to worry about you. There's two classifications. There's the short term and the long term. Short term is any stock, any share that you've bought inside of a 1 year period. Long term, anything that you bought over a year ago. And there's a big difference in how they're taxed. So basically, you've got tier 1. If you're selling short term stocks you bought, inside of a year, you're going to be taxed at 12%. You hold that same stock over a year, and it goes to 0, nada. You don't have to pay any taxes on it. It makes a big difference. I mean, you could be thinking about selling a stock when you're up 30, but you got to take into consideration that 12% that's going to come off of it. And if you can just hang on to it for another 3-4 months and feel like you're still going to get the same good return, or maybe even a little better, you can tack on an extra 12% just by holding that stock a little bit longer. If you fall into tier 2, which, man, what a wide gap, right? I mean, this seems pretty tight, and then all of a sudden it's like somebody making 50,000 versus someone making over $500,000 as a single guy. That seems like a big gap, but that's the way it is. And all these numbers are rounded. They've got it down to the dollars, but I just did it rounding for this. But so tier 2, short term, 22%. And the long term, you hold it for over a year, and it drops you down to 15%. So, that's 7% gain just by holding it that little extra time. You can make an extra 7% on your investment. So, just something to think about. Thought it was something good to know. The next question we ended up having was, okay, so how do I know if I've been buying the same stock all the way along? How do I know which shares are getting sold and which category they're going to fall under as far as long-term, short-term? I've got Robinhood. So basically, it's got 3 options. Whenever you go to sell a stock, it'll have the little drop-down window, and it'll say dollars, shares, and tax lots. So with dollars and shares, what Robinhood does is they do a first in, first out. So they're automatically, if you put in a dollar amount or a share amount, they're going to go in and grab the oldest thing that you bought, and that's what they're going to sell off of. If you want to do it differently, you go into tax lots. If you're not sure, you can go into tax lots, and it'll show you, all the shares and when they were bought. And you can go in there and mark the ones, literally mark the ones that you want to sell to make sure it falls under the time frame that you're wanting it to fall under. Average cost that you see on there, which is what I've been looking at, thinking that whenever I sold, it would sell off the average cost, but it doesn't. Average cost is just a tool for you to kind of know where you're at overall. The gains and the taxes are based on the price paid, not the average cost. So, now when Mount St. Amazon erupts, and it will, you're going to know how that money you made on it is going to get taxed in the future. That's pretty much all I got for y'all this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you being here to watch. We'll see you next week here at the trailer park.